So usually feel like a cringe boy when I make these long form videos. Nowadays, I try to be like, oh, well, let me write down everything and then record it. But then I'll record it and then I'll sound like I'm reading. So, well, maybe if I practice the script more, then I won't sound like I'm reading. But then again, it's like I guess any writer understands that. Okay, like at the very second we finish writing it, it already starts to disintegrate. Like like do I really need to say this? Or like, oh, Jesus H Christ. But you know what? I feel like all of this is perfect and is valid because 95% of fitness content is garbage, anyways, right? I hate how every most fitness curators it's just advice. It's just tips and advice. It it's like where's the self awareness that's like, oh, maybe I'm not progressing, maybe I'm hitting a plateau, and but then again, that stuff's probably boring and like depressing. And how is a person supposed to build a following when what they say is, oh hey guys, I'm plateauing, or hey guys, I'm confused, or I'm not really sure uh how to get progress right now, but this is what I think might work. So I'm gonna go ahead and document it and see what happens, and then we'll go from there, right? Uh, but that's the stuff I kind of want to listen to and hear too. Like that's what I like Ivan Jurek for, and really I don't really know anyone else who does that. Maybe Alan Thrall every now and then, but that's the kind of stuff that I gravitated towards. And look, it's just not user friendly. It's just how many lifters are there? How many people are there that have lifted consecutively for a year, for 2 years, for 5 years? So there, if there isn't a fan base for that kind of stuff, then why should they go out of their way and make that stuff, right? So it's like, well, fuck them. I would just feel dumb making advice or tip things. It just feels so empty and nothing. And it's like, I think about the person that is forming their program, and then it's like, then they go to the YouTubes, and then all of a sudden they're just bombarded with like 1,000 different variations and methods and this and that. And it's like, okay, well, I already had my program. I only want to work out like an hour every other day and whatnot. So how am I supposed to fit in these millions of variations and et cetera, et cetera? Well, how we fit that in is we start building an ear and an eye for just junk. Eventually, whether it takes a year or however long, we will build something in us. Kind of like what natural hypertrophy said about the whole testosterone deal. Like I was just like, and a lot of people that have been lifting for a good minute, they're like, yeah, that's retarded, and they didn't even pay it any mind after that, right? But they're that's only a small population, you know. Yeah, it just sucks. About making videos and junk. Cause I did write a script. I wrote something about being a strength coper, where I was like, "R nar mate, I've been ignoring isolations and whatnot, and just telling myself like, oh, I only care about becoming stronger." And then I reflect on my progress now, and it's like, oh, well, what happened, strong boy? I mean, it doesn't seem like you're getting any stronger, and and then uh, And then I saw a picture of me, or a few pictures of me from a year ago, and I look the same now. I look the same. Uh, you know, at least I didn't get fatter. I guess that's a good thing. I look the same, so at least I didn't gain weight, like bad weight, right? At least I have that. Um, but then it just crucified me even more. I was like, this is what I get for telling myself, oh, I'm focused on strength, because there was a good stretch of months where all I did was shoulder press variation, bench press variation, squat variation, deadlift variation, and then I would just like call it a day. And those days were like a lot more intense, and I did have a lot more frequency in those lifts and stuff, which was why I didn't really have any room for anything else. Uh, but then also, I wasn't taking advantage of all the hours throughout the day when I'm not lifting, because isolation movements in themselves, it's like they don't produce that much fatigue. I mean, it's isolation. It's working one little muscle, like say forearm exercising. Am I really? Am I really? If I do a few sets of forearm exercises and I go deadlift, is my body going to be like, oh nope, well can't do anything here. You worked out your forearms today, pal. Yeah, dude. So you're gonna be weak forever. No, that's dumb. So nowadays I take advantage of the hours that I'm not lifting. I have a little pull up bar anywhere I go. I'll go down. Actually, I have I I have my isolations that I want to do split with my split. So if it's an upper day, I want push ups and Arnold presses, tricep extensions, pull ups to be more of a priority. If it's a lower day, I want my psoas, hanging psoas curls, regular ones, crunches to be more of a priority. And then on my clean and jerk, snatch and clean and jerk J's, I just say bicep curls and tricep extensions because I rarely ever give bicep curls like my best effort. Like I'll curl maybe 3 4 times a week and stuff, but it's never like a full on effort, and it's always like last of my isolation movements that I do throughout the day and whatnot. And so and then I took that pic. I saw those pictures, and then I I measured myself. I have that Rentfo app, so I had a recording of measurements that I took like 9 months ago, and then a few months ago prior to that, and so there is some kind of okay news. So I still weigh. I weigh a pound and a half more than when I last measured myself, and so my shoulder width, my circumference of my shoulders got 2 inches. The circumference of my chest got an inch and a half. My legs got like point 0.2, point 0.3 or something. And then my hips got wider, and my calves a little. It's weird. Like my right one went from 14.2 to zero point 0.5, and then my left one went from 14 to 14.2. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just doing whatever I'm doing wrong or something. Like I don't know what made that imbalance, right? So that made me feel like okay. It made me feel better, like uh, because if all I had was the data of that picture, and then honestly just not progressing that much in lifts, then I would be like a sour sad boy. I mean, because my lifts aren't necessarily progressing. You know, I I've been trying to hit 150 pounds on the shoulder press so I could at least show myself like, oh look, it's been 8 weeks and I've added 5 pounds to my shoulder press, and that didn't happen. And my deadlift is down bad, and I think that's because I stopped all the intensity in the squats because of my knee tendonitis, and I was like, look, I'll just do low weight and high reps for a while and see where that goes. Well, you know where that goes? It made me lose all of my strength in the squat, and I felt like my deadlift really depended on my squat strength, and so I went from being able to do 375 to like 315 being a struggle, and I you know, and then yeah, same thing with my squat. I completely lost all of my strength in it due to me being less intense on it. Um, but there's some okay things in lifting. So in my snatch, I can hit 90 pounds almost every day now, and like snatch it, and that feels really good because there was a good time where I couldn't even hit 65 pounds most days, so I feel really good about that, so at least I have that. And my pull-ups are getting a little better. Narrow grip, I went from being able to do maybe only two, and now if I'm like on a good day I can do seven. So there's little things like that, right? And I was talking shit, just having banter with online internet friends on Discord.com, and we insulted each other, and then he was like, how does it feel to, lift weights for 2 years? Remember your squat every day shit, where you squatted every day for like 100 days? It's like you look the same, dude. And then I was like, I mean, correct, correct, yes, I do, man. It's sad, but at least I know why I look the same, and it was because I disregarded all isolation movements, and I've just been lazy with my eating. I am a 170-pound man. I kind of bounce around from 165 to 170, but I could be a 160-pound man if I just controlled my eating. So, like, what do I want to be? Do I want to be a 160-pound man where I look like I lift more? Or do I want to just be 170 pounds and just not really, put a cap on my eating and shit, right? So, so that's fine. And I kind of tell myself things like, oh, well, it's okay to be at 170 pounds because then I have like extra energy and fat, to build that muscle and stuff. And it's like, well, what muscle, dude? What muscle are you building? Right? And so, right. So I don't think I'll ever upload that strength copper video. I don't know. It just feels freaking cringe and lame. And then I had like a spurg in me where I was like, non-lifters are irrelevant, because look, man, people just don't like self improvement. It's weird. Like I literally remember myself being jealous and full of envy of a friend I had who also started lifting, and then he was like, progressing, and then he was already seeing like definition on him, and then I was like, well, you only got that because you're skinny in the first place, and like why couldn't I just be happy for that guy, and so I can only imagine how everyone else reacts to self betterment and stuff, right? And so, but at least I'm getting better at how I engage with people and how much value their opinions have. I mean, because any person who's been consistent for a few years, uh, just uh, they're just more understanding, you know. It's because that same person might have hit a slump where they didn't progress and they were stagnant for like a few months, and they remember like, or they have that in their memory log, like, oh yeah, that happened to me, and that could, that sucked, and then so they just have more consideration for another person that might be plateauing and whatnot. you know and I just don't feel like I'm plateauing. It might not be the most. I might not be like, oh look, dude, I squatted 265 and now I'm squatting 315. It's not as black and white as that, but my well, another thing of my progression is I really feel like my squat is a million times better now. Doing the narrow stance, toes pointed forward, in flat shoes. Oh yeah, here's me trying to do 150 pounds and I couldn't do it. What a sad cunt. And there's a little Spanish music, but I gotta talk over it so like the copyright doesn't pick it up and stuff. So let's go. All right. Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, I could have gotten it. Yeah, so but I don't know. I mean, I just don't see what the alternative could be. Like, just not lift. You know, I don't know. That just feels retarded to just not lift. You know, I mean, and also what I like about lifting every day is like I sweat like super hard, so that just means like a lot of toxins are being removed. You know, blood circulation and junk, right? Um, and so I don't know. I just hope I'm not spreading myself too thin though. Now that I'm doing the isolation movements and whatnot, and snatching, and yeah, no, it's fine. You know, because I don't consider myself a power builder or a bodybuilder or a ollie lifter. I'm just a guy that likes to lift, and there's just some things that I like and some things that I don't, and the things that I like I gravitate towards, you know, and the things that I don't like, well, I still find reason to do them anyways. Like lunges, you know, I got to do the unilateral movements to make sure I'm still healing my knee tendonitis and strengthening my knee and whatnot. You know, because it's like a different kind of knee flexion than squatting. I'm assuming, or I mean, at least it feels that way too. So, oh, and also, yeah, that'd be cool if I can get like bigger forearms, right? I taped them yesterday, so they're 11.1 inches, and so that's going to be cool. Um, but I don't know. I would, yeah. It would really suck if was just not able to lift. Like if I got in an accident, I just okay, you can't lift now. You know, because I really feel like this is the only thing that's really giving me self esteem or some kind of worth and whatnot. You know, because like I was ranting and spurging the other day, and then I was just remembering things my mom and dad did to me, like. They're great, you know, but every now and then they would just have a bad day, and then take it out on whoever, and then sometimes it'd be me, you know, like one time I was telling my dad he thought I was on drugs, and then I was like 20 something at the time, and then so he was like, well, piss in a cup, let's go to the hospital and get it tested, you know, because you're acting weird, and I wasn't on drugs, you know, and then so but then my mom stopped us before we could get there, and she was like, so where y'all going? And I was like, oh, we're gonna go get my piss tested, because he thinks I'm on drugs, and and you know, uh, just pretty much being an asshole, you know, just and then my mom, I think one time I slept late, and so she had to take me to school, and during the whole car ride, she was just like screaming at me about how bad I was at school and this and that, and then so I just spurred back out at her, and then I was like, fuck you, and then so she went back to her workplace and told her friends that I did that, and then her coworkers told their daughters, and their daughters got all pissed off at me, like, oh, how dare you curse your mom out and stuff, you know. And so, oh, and then there's one time I lived with my grandma, and it's like all I did when I worked with my grandma was I didn't engage with her. I didn't freaking run her ear or anything. I did what she told me to do, cleaned the house and stuff. I went to work at a restaurant, and then that's it. And then I just went into my room and sleep. But I was drinking alcohol, and so she just made it part of her every other day ritual to just be like, make a big old soap opera, like, oh, you're drinking, oh my god, this is so sad, you're gonna make me get a heart attack because you're drinking. And then I was just like, geez, dude, you know. And then so with this lifting shit, it's like, okay, cool, man. These dudes can talk shit and talk shit, talk shit, but can they go out of the way and go lift? It's like, hey, that's cool. That's cool that you said that I'm That's cool that you're able to express yourself in this manner. Now, can you express yourself in lifting? Can you go out of your way and go do a lifting program, a regimen, routine, and whatnot? Can you do that? I can. Can you? You can't? Oh, you see that heavy thing there? I can lift it. You can't. Why can't you lift it? I thought you were better than me. I thought you were the person showing all your dominance at me and being, super cool, high moral ground motherfucker. And yet I'm stronger than you, and I show more resilience, and I show responsibility, and I show expression of strength. And then when like I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just no, wait, no, it does add up. It's because I'm better than you. It's because I know I am better than you because I fucking lift. That's it. No, it's like what, huh? And I know that's like not the most healthy way to think about this stuff, because again, I could get in an accident, something could happen to me, and then I wouldn't be able to lift, and then where's that ego boost going to be? Then I'm just going to have to, like, depend on what, some other fucking thing that I don't even want to think about, so but yeah, all right, suck my dick. uh that's a good song. Insane Clown Posse. I don't know. Here's oh yeah, I really like Ouija Mac these days, you know. Oh yeah, and then here's that amazing squatting I was talking about. Hold on. There we go. I like the front. I like the front angle so people can see the toes pointed forward junk, because because if I did this angle, if I shot this from the back, then it would look like my toes are pointing out. But as you see, toes pointed forward, yeah, all the way down, narrow stance, you know. So like, yeah, and most fucking advanced lifters can't fucking do this shit, And some people, they'll be like, oh, well, you can only do that because you're short. Yeah, you're fucking right. Every fucking short lifter just squats ATG with a narrow stance with their toes pointed forward, right? Get the fuck out of here. That's fucking dumb, you know. So this took practice. This took effort and shit, like it took giving a fuck. I didn't just go into the garage and be like, okay, let's just get these squats over with. Oh, I'm gay. It's like, no, I was like, okay, let's figure this out, you know. So yeah, that's toes pointed. So that's a angle from the front, but so this is the exact same stance, but from the back. And as you see, my toes look like they're kind of pointed out, but no, they're pointed forward. So. And here's that shitty butt wink, but we'll get better at that, because I'm still kind of new to my toes being pointed forward. So I think eventually, like, my body will just be like, okay, the muscles that are need to be worked and toes pointed forward are developed now. Now we don't have to do extension in the lower back, So I don't know. Oh, well, there we go.